a preview of what you're going to tell the big businesses. These are the major employers. They employ together about 1 million people. What's your plan to make sure the city is lively and prosperous and profitable?
Well, the main thing is the millennials and Gen Zers who, yes, wake up, they are the majority of the voters and the majority of the population. I'm a baby boomer. I have to keep reminding baby boomers we're no longer in control. They control the votes as they should, and they are the majority of the population. So let's use my wife, Nancy, the animal rescuer. Top of the month, she gets hit with the student loan. She's an attorney. Don't pay your student loan, they'll revoke your license. So you got to pay that first. Then you got to pay rent. You'll never be able to get a mortgage on a house, never be able to buy a car. You're living sometimes with 4 fellow students of yours at the age of 35. You thought you left the dormitories back in college, you know, when you did your 4 years in your grad school. No wonder why these millennials and Gen Zers are so angry, and they have a right, because we sold them a dream, the American dream. Get a good education, make $150,000 a start. And now they're living in a dormitory, and they got nothing at the end of the month. The cost of living is skyrocketing. If I were their age, I'd be pissed off too. Zoran, like Bernie Sanders, would be very attractive, as he was to my wife Nancy when he first ran against Hillary. She was a burn, baby, burn. Then was upset that he capitulated to Hillary, who really lost the primary but got the superdelegates. And then she became a Trump voter. I wasn't even a Trump voter. But she went from one to the other. And that's what some young people have done.
Right. So they're feeling in a radical way that the system is not working for them. So it's kind of like, look, I tried Bernie Sanders. That didn't work. Let me try Donald Trump. It can be that wide of a swing. And they're landing, a lot of them now, on Zoran Mamdani. How do you convince them to come to Curtis Sliwa?
Well, first of all, you have to go in the neighborhoods there. So I noticed Cuomo, well, he barely goes out. Everything is so controlled. You know, he's in a little, I call him Bubble Boy. He's, you know, everything controlled, antiseptic. He thinks he's still governor. He thinks he's, you know, Prince Cuomo. He's not. He's a candidate who got kicked. His butt got kicked in the primary by Zoran Mamdani. And then you have Eric Adams. You know, the only way to get him sometimes in a neighborhood is open up a new nightclub. He can do the ribbon cutting, and he'll be there till the break of dawn. You got to go into Long Island City. You got to go into the Lower East Side. You got to go into Astoria, that AOC declared to be the People's Republic of America, because every elected official there is either DSA or Working Families Party or both. And that's why I spend the bulk of my time. My entire campaign team are millennials and Gen Zers. Now, I'm not going to say that I can match, you know, person for person with Zoran. But if you're out in the community, you will find a number of the majority of the millennials and Gen Zs, they haven't made up their mind, but nobody ever talks to them. It's like, why are there so many Democrats in New York City? The first thing they'll say, I've never met a Republican before. No Republican ever knocked on my door. You know, Errol, I can go into neighborhoods where the only Republican they've ever seen is Abraham Lincoln on a $5 bill and be accepted because of the work I've done with the Guardian Angels. Now, my job in a 4-person race, which is going to be close, is to convince them, you can vote for me. Now, you can't vote for a Republican, fine. Vote for me on the Protect the Animals line. And they all seem to light up on that. Well, what does that involve? No-kill shelters, put animal abusers in jail. So whether you're a Trumper or you voted for Harris, and very enticing to women who are the bulk of the animal rescue community. The guys, they all talk about, yeah, vote, vote. Women vote.
Right.
Women are the ones who vote. And if you can get a majority of the women, you are going to be the next mayor of the city of New York.
Let me acquaint some of my listeners with you. A lot of them don't know you, as long as I've known you. You actually spent some of your early years in Chicago.
Yes.
And I've always been amused because I have a lot of friends and I have some family in Chicago, and they always tell me, that guy Curtis Sliwa, that accent he has, that's not Canarsie. That's back of the yards. That's straight out of Chicago.
That's right. It's a combination. So I was born in Brooklyn Hospital. Dr. Duckman, who was actually the father of the famous judge, remember? Who released the guy who went out and killed the woman at Coppell's car dealership on Northern Boulevard, you know, because of the dog. He said, well, I got to go home to take care of the dog. And dopey Duckman released him. His father delivered me, hit me on my dupa, my tuchus, and I've been talking ever since. We went back to Chicago. My dad is a merchant seaman, 50 years. And so I was there for my first 5 years. 4-story walk-up, 46 in Rockwell. It was all Polish then. It's all Mexican now. So naturally, I was playing Zorro on the steps there. That was my favorite TV. The Stockyards, Kaminsky Park. My uncles hated the Yankees. It was humiliating to me because I love Mickey Mantle, and they booed him. And, you know, it's a different culture. But that's my second city, Chicago. And then we came back to Brooklyn.
Yeah, why did they come back to Brooklyn?
We came back to Brooklyn because my dad had to go and ship out, merchant seaman, 50 years. And, you know, you had the lakes. And, you know, he was tired of sailing out of, you know, Lake Michigan, down the Mississippi. He left high school at 15. He was the oldest of 4, Depression. Sailed flatboats down the Mississippi, banana barges to Guatemala and Honduras from the port of New Orleans, and then joined the Merchant Mariners before World War II. That's where he met my mother, Francesca, in Brooklyn before he shipped out like so many others.
Fantastic, fantastic. So now you get into Brooklyn Prep, which is a somewhat legendary Catholic school. It's run by the Jesuits. It's a Catholic academy for boys. A lot of famous leaders came out of there. John Sexton, the president of NYU. My former boss, Arthur Brown, became the editor-in-chief of the New York Daily News. For those who know the name, there's Joseph Califano, who became a cabinet secretary, worked for Lyndon Johnson, worked for Jimmy Carter. And, you know, Curtis Sliwa is on this leadership track. You're elected president of the senior class.
Well, let's go back a little. You mentioned John Sexton. Yeah. John Sexton was the debate coach for my oldest sister, Alita, in St. Brendan's, while he was teaching at Brooklyn Prep by day. They would practice in the kitchen of my mom and dad's house in Canarsie. And he would say to my mother, you know, one day when Curtis is old enough, you gotta give me a call. I'll try to get him into Brooklyn Tech. You had to take a special test. So I went to PS 114, Bildersee Junior High School. And then my mind began to start spending time chasing skirts instead of focusing on my baseball glove and studies. My mother said, I'm calling John Sexton. We're taking him up on that. We had to take the special test. I failed it. I think I blamed it on a mastoid ear infection. The headmaster, Alexander, Father Alexander, said, what is that? They gave me another test. I failed it. And then John Sexton pulled his legacy card. Said, I've never asked you for a favor. Jack Alexander, the headmaster, the prefect of discipline, already hated me. He knew I was going to be trouble. And Jack Alexander said, for you, John, you've been the #1 supporter of Brooklyn Prep Jesuit High School. I'll do it for you. But I have a feeling this guy Curtis is going to be on the outside looking in.